Have you ever wondered why you fall for the same kind of people again and again? Different faces, same story. The chase, the anxiety, the silence, the heartbreak. It's not random. It's not bad luck. It's your attachment style, a psychological blueprint written in your brain long before your first love. It decides who you're drawn to, how you handle distance, why you overthink, or why you pull away when things get real. Today, we'll break down what your attachment style says about your love life and how to finally stop repeating the same emotional cycles. Before you ever fell in love, before your first heartbreak, before you even knew what love meant, your brain was already learning it. It learned from the people who held you or didn't, from the voices that comforted you or stayed silent, from every smile that made you feel safe and every cold look that made you shrink inside. Your attachment style didn't appear out of nowhere. It was built quietly, moment by moment, in the spaces between comfort and neglect, warmth and absence, security and fear. When your caregiver picked you up at every cry, your brain learned, love is safe. I can depend on people. But if love came in waves, sometimes close, sometimes gone, you learned a harsher truth. If I want love, I have to earn it. And when love felt like walking on glass, where affection turned to anger without warning, your nervous system whispered, love isn't safe. Keep your guard up. That's where it all begins. Not in adulthood, not in relationships, but in those silent lessons your heart absorbed when you were too young to understand them. Every child internalizes one of two truths. Either, I'm safe and worthy of love, or I have to fight to be loved. And that belief follows you quietly into every relationship you ever have. It shapes how you text, how you trust, how you argue, and how you attach. So when you wonder why you chase the wrong people, why you pull away when someone gets too close, or why you fall hardest for those who can't love you back, remember, it's not weakness. It's wiring. The child you once were is still trying to finish the story they never got closure on. Because love isn't just an emotion. It's memory. And until you understand the one written in your past, you'll keep repeating it in your future. There's a kind of love that feels like oxygen. You can't live without it. And yet it's the very thing that leaves you gasping for air. You wait for the message, the call, the tiny sign that they still care. And when it doesn't come, your mind spirals, replaying every conversation, every silence, every moment where something might have gone wrong. You convince yourself you did too much, or maybe not enough. You tell yourself, if I can just love them harder, they'll stay. But they don't. And you fall apart in the quiet, wondering what's wrong with you. That, right there, is the anxious attachment. It's not weakness. It's not desperation. It's your nervous system on high alert, searching for safety in someone else. When love becomes inconsistent, the anxious heart turns into a detective. Every delay, every silence, every unread text feels like rejection. Your brain doesn't just want love, it needs reassurance. Because it was trained to believe that love could disappear at any second. You learned this long before your first relationship. Maybe you had a parent who was there one moment and gone the next. Maybe you felt invisible until you cried or achieved something. Maybe love came as a reward, not a constant. So now, as an adult, you chase connection like survival. When someone pulls away, your body reacts as if it's losing air. Because in a way it is. That's how your mind experiences emotional distance as danger. Your heart beats faster. Your thoughts race. You imagine every possible reason for the silence. You scroll through old messages, trying to find proof that you were once loved. And when they finally reply, just one text, one call, one sign of affection, your brain lights up like fireworks. Dopamine floods in, oxytocin follows, and for a moment, everything feels okay again. But that relief doesn't last, because soon after, the cycle starts again. The anxiety, the waiting, the craving. You start mistaking this rush for passion. You think this is what love feels like, the thrill, the pain, the constant uncertainty. But it isn't love you're addicted to. It's the emotional roller coaster your body thinks is normal. That's why you keep falling for emotionally distant people. The ones who give just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to make you feel secure. They mirror your earliest experience of love. Inconsistent, unpredictable, unstable. You think it's chemistry. It's not. It's familiarity. Because your subconscious doesn't crave peace, it craves what it understands. And when peace finally arrives, when someone healthy loves you gently, your brain gets confused. It calls it boring, but it's not boring, it's unfamiliar. It's what safety feels like when you've only ever known chaos. That's the heartbreaking part about being anxiously attached. You don't just want love, you want proof of it. You want constant reminders, constant contact, constant closeness. Because distance feels like danger, and space feels like rejection. But here's the truth no one tells you. You're not needy. You're not dramatic. You're a person whose emotional needs were never met consistently. You're not chasing people. You're chasing regulation. You want your body to calm down. You want your heart to stop racing. You want to feel safe, and you think that safety exists in someone else. But it doesn't. It begins inside you, when you realize your worth isn't dependent on someone's response. When you stop begging for love and start building security within yourself. When you understand that silence doesn't mean rejection, and distance doesn't mean abandonment. Because healing the anxious heart isn't about loving less. It's about learning that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. It's about realizing that the people who pull away aren't your responsibility to chase. They're your reminder to let go. And maybe the moment you stop running after love that leaves, you finally make room for love that stays. Not everyone runs because they don't care. Some run because caring feels dangerous. Because love, real, vulnerable, uncontrollable love, reminds them of the one thing they swore they'd never feel again: helplessness. You see, avoidant attachment doesn't come from coldness. It comes from survival, from growing up in a world where emotions weren't safe, where being open meant being hurt. So they learned early, don't need anyone. Don't rely on anyone. Don't feel too much. It starts as a defense. But over time, it becomes a personality. They build walls so high, even they forget what's behind them. They crave connection, desperately, quietly. But the moment someone gets close, their instincts whisper, danger. So they pull away. They withdraw. They go silent. Not to punish you, but to protect themselves. Because for the avoidant heart, closeness equals loss of control. And control is safety. So when love starts to feel intense, they disconnect before they can be left behind. They'll say, I just need space. I'm not ready for anything serious. But deep down, they don't fear commitment. They fear dependence. They fear needing someone who could one day walk away. So they keep their distance, confusing independence with strength. They chase goals, distractions, even people. Anything that keeps them from sitting in the silence of emotional exposure. And yet they still feel it. They still think about the one who tried to love them, the one they pushed away. Late at night, when no one's watching, they scroll through old messages. They wonder what went wrong. They tell themselves they just weren't the right one. But a part of them knows it wasn't them at all. Because the avoidant's greatest fear isn't rejection. It's being truly seen, because being seen means being vulnerable. And vulnerability, to them, feels like stepping back into the fire. That's why they choose emotional distance over intimacy. It's not apathy, it's armor. It's how they keep control in a world that once made them feel powerless. But here's the paradox. The more they protect themselves from love, the lonelier they become. And the lonelier they become, the more they convince themselves they don't need anyone. It's a self-made prison, one built from pride, fear, and silence. They'll attract people with anxious hearts, people who chase, people who feel deeply. Because deep down, opposites complete the story. The anxious craves closeness. The avoidant fears it. And together, they replay the same emotional dance. One reaching, one retreating, both desperate to heal wounds neither caused. But there's hope. Avoidance isn't permanent. It's just pain disguised as strength. And once they learn that closeness doesn't equal loss, that love doesn't have to strip away their independence. They begin to open, slowly, carefully. Healing begins the moment they realize that needing someone isn't weakness. It's human. And that safety isn't built from distance. It's built from trust. Because real love doesn't trap you. It gives you space to breathe. It lets you be seen fully, completely, and still feel safe. So if you've ever been with someone who pulled away the moment things got real, don't assume they didn't feel anything. Sometimes the ones who seem the most distant are the ones who care the most. They just never learned how to show it without losing themselves in the process. Healing doesn't begin when someone new enters your life. It begins the day you finally stop running, either after love or away from it. Because both anxious and avoidant hearts are doing the same thing. They're trying to protect themselves from pain. One clings, the other hides. But underneath both defenses lies the same wound, the fear of being abandoned. The anxious person says, "Please don't leave me." The avoidant says, "I don't need you." But both are really saying, "I'm scared to get hurt again." And the healing begins when you finally stop living through that fear. When you stop letting old pain define new love. When you stop blaming others for not filling the emptiness that only you can heal. For the anxious, healing means learning that silence isn't rejection. That someone not texting you back doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means grounding yourself, calming the storm before it takes over. Learning to breathe through the panic instead of feeding it. Because peace doesn't come when others stay. It comes when you realize you'll still be okay if they don't. For the avoidant, healing means learning that closeness isn't danger. That love doesn't mean losing control. It's allowing someone in, slowly, gently, without letting fear take the wheel. It's realizing that vulnerability doesn't destroy you. It connects you. That true strength isn't silence, it's honesty. The truth is, attachment wounds don't heal through logic. They heal through awareness. The moment you see your patterns, you stop being controlled by them. You start choosing people not from your trauma, but from your peace. Healing isn't a straight line. Some days you'll crave the past. Some nights you'll miss the chaos. Because chaos once felt like home. But that's okay. That's how healing works. It's quiet, it's slow, it's real. You start noticing things. The calm that once felt boring now feels safe. The silence that once scared you now feels peaceful. You start realizing that love doesn't need to feel like anxiety to be real. And one day, without even noticing, you stop chasing people who don't love you back. You stop apologizing for your emotions. You stop mistaking inconsistency for passion. Because now, you know what love actually is. It's not fireworks, it's warmth. It's not obsession, it's connection. It's not fear, it's freedom. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the pain taught you to hide. It's about coming home to yourself. So whether you're the one who loves too much or the one who loves too little, remember this. You were never broken. You were just protecting yourself the best way you knew how. And now that you see the pattern, you get to write a different story. One where love doesn't hurt. One where peace feels normal. One where you finally realize you were always enough, even when they couldn't see it. In the end, love isn't about fixing someone or proving your worth to them. It's about understanding why you loved the way you did and forgiving yourself for it. You were not foolish for caring. You were human for trying. You were searching for safety in the only language you knew, love. And now you know better. You know that the love that makes you question your value isn't love at all. That the peace you used to run from was never boredom. It was healing, waiting for you to slow down enough to notice it. Because real love, the kind that lasts, doesn't come with chaos or silence or fear. It comes quietly, in the calm of mutual understanding, in the warmth of being seen and still accepted. So maybe this is where the story changes, where you stop trying to be chosen and start choosing yourself, where you stop calling pain passion and start calling peace home. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can ever do is to walk away from what breaks you and finally walk toward what builds you.